What's up, fam? It's Musashden. This week I'm going to do something a little bit different because I actually have an opinion on something. So as I draw this picture, we're going to talk about critiques. Okay, so there's this weird trend amongst newer artists, and I don't know what art teacher did them this disservice, but they seem to think that a critique is something you ask for. Like, you literally have to ask for, like, say you as a viewer see something amiss with their piece, and that you should ask them permission before you give them a critique. This is without a doubt the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Let's get one thing straight. You're asking for a critique the very second you post that art where the public can see it. Whether it be in a gallery or as soon as you post it on the internet, you're basically saying you want to know what the world thinks about your work. And I got news for you, the entire world isn't always going to like it. And I don't care if you've been drawing for 50 days or 50 years, you are going to get criticized. No one is exempt or above criticism. Yes, even me, I'm not excluding myself here. And let me repeat that. No one is exempt or above criticism. Most people would counter this with saying everyone improves on their own rate. That is true, but if it's been 10 years and your art is the same as it ever was, I'm afraid you've gone stagnant. Stagnation usually happens to people who only get praise and not critique, and is another thing someone might critique you for. The very essence of art is to evolve. You can change mediums, subject matter. I've said in my tutorials that you will not wake up yesterday drawing perfectly, and I don't care if you've been doing it for 50 days or 50 years. Something will change with the way you do things. It is not something you have to force, it'll just happen naturally over time, especially if you actually accept critiques. Now, as far as accepting critique, I'll admit that it is very hard. Like, it's very hard to get used to. Like, I find that even after doing art for so long that sometimes I get a little miffed, but I just try to remind myself that either I can take this advice and use it, or I can't, and whoever gave it to me is gonna see the things they don't like about my art every time they see it. That being said, there are several different types of critique. One, the most important one, is constructive critique. Constructive critique, it has a format of giving a compliment, saying what needs improvement, and then finally how to improve said thing. So it goes saying what you like about it, saying what needs improvement, and then if you know how to help them improve the thing, tell them how to improve it. That's why it's called constructive. It can actually help your art. This was taught in most of the art courses I took. Hell, my high school art teacher made sure we all knew this was how critique worked, and that's how you give it. And that's another thing. Your art teachers do not hate you. They don't get paid to hate you. They're getting paid to teach you different art mediums. You can't draw Sonic or Kylo Ren in Copic markers and turn it in for a gauche surrealism assignment. You're gonna fail because you didn't do what was assigned. A lot of people actually have been flipping their shit because no matter how you phrase a constructive criticism, they take it as a personal attack. I've seen a bunch of professionals doing this, and all I can say is that being a professional does not make you exempt from critique. In fact, the more popular you get, the more criticism you're going to get. And it's not misogynistic men trying to keep you down. It's not transphobic Bible thumpers trying to silence your voice. It's not jealous people who hate how you're so talented. And it's not trolls. None of those groups or their affiliates will ever give anything close to a real constructive criticism. Anyone giving you real, useful tips that they think would help you convey your imagery better will never out and out say your art sucks, is terrible, liberal bullshit, etc., etc. A real constructive criticism will always have a tip on how to improve. Sometimes you can't use those tips, but once again, don't flip your shit because someone didn't absolutely shower you with praise and adoration. Remember, nothing but praise leads to stagnation. The second kind of critique I want to cover is deconstructive. And yeah, I know how that sounds, but oftentimes this will come off like someone hating on everything you do. Sometimes the person who just points out, this person just points out all the flaws in your work, and they don't know how to help you improve. They only see that something is off about it. You might not see it, but one of those billions of people out on this planet did. You can either fix it, see how it looks, or do nothing and move on. Do not flip your shit. These people are not trying to hurt you. That hand, those eyes, their perspective, or the shading just might not look right to them. Cool your tits. It's not the end of the world. The last one is trolls. Okay, so believe it or not, but trolling is a form of criticism in its own right. If someone says your art just plain sucks, you might have to take a step back, take your ego out of it, and realize your art ain't perfect, so maybe, just maybe, it does suck. But the bright side of that is that you can always do better. You're an artist, right? Improvement is part of what you do. But if the troll makes you quit, then I guess your career in art was just not meant to be. Shrug it off. Don't flip your shit. That's exactly what the troll wants. Spotting a troll is fairly easy though. Just take 2 seconds and check their profile. If little Johnny Hellraiser 6969 only has 5 comments and joined last week, then he's a troll. All that being said, as an artist, it is important to learn, not just about what you're doing, but about the different types of criticism, how to identify actual helpful advice, and use it if you can. It's hard, but you have to learn to emotionally distance yourself from whatever you make. This painting might be your magnum opus today, but in a year, you'll probably hate it. You'll flip the canvas and this thing you worked so hard on looks like a 5-year-old did it. And finally, your characters are not your children. They're not real. It's okay if some people don't like them. Different folks, different strokes. Better yet, there's an old quote that goes, "You can please some of the people all of the time. Or all of the people, some of the time, but not all of the people, all of the time." The great thing about art is that it's subjective. Where you might see the best thing ever to come out of your brain, other people might see a bunch of superficial bullshit you slapped together. And where some people see the best, most important thing in their lives ever, you might see utter, absolute garbage. If you take anything away from this, is that you should stop expecting the viewer to ask permission to tell you what they think. Can you imagine not saying what you think about something? Anything? Say you saw a bad movie, and you didn't like it, but before you aired your complaints about it, you had to go ask everyone in the movie if you could say anything about it. Or you ate some food that wasn't good, and you have to ask the chef if you can send it back or not based on how he felt about how he made it. Every time you speak up against some injustice, there's someone there to pick at you because you didn't ask before you could say anything about it. A critique is better than no comment at all. Imagine posting anything and never getting any kind of interaction out of anyone. Especially for something you made. Is it good? Is it bad? If it's bad, what are you doing wrong? Why is it wrong? Can you fix it? How will you ever know if no one tells you? How will they ever tell you if you reject all criticism? That being said, this is the finished product of this piece that I've been working on. And in the aspect of fairness here, I really want to know what anybody watching this thinks of this piece. Like, I welcome criticism of this because, I drew this a couple of months ago, and to say I'm completely satisfied with it is a bit of a lie. So let me know what you think here down below in the comments, or on my DeviantArt page, or on Instagram, or on Twitter, or on Tumblr, because this piece will be everywhere. You have no real excuse not to give me critique on it. And be as harsh as you want. Like, I've been doing this forever. You won't hurt my feelings. That's it for this week's video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I update every Friday, and you can also follow me on DeviantArt and Instagram. I'm Musashden here, there, and everywhere. Thanks for watching.